And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Thursday, believe it or not. A cool 49 right now as we wait for warmer weather. It's been back and forth. Will it be 70, 71, 72? But I think they're settling at this point 70-ish. Does that make sense? It's going to be warm, partly sunny, a great-looking day ahead of us. We've got bad weather already slated for next week. Somewhere around Tuesday, we could have some tornadic activity. Right now, it looks to be just to the west of Meridian. We'll watch this. We're days away from it, which means we could see this. We'll get more into that with the forecast coming up in just a few moments. Hope you're feeling well today. You got your day organized. You got a cup of coffee, ready to face the world. We'll have Odie in just a little bit as we get things raring up at 7 o'clock to go over all the local events that have gone on. Let's go to Collinsville as we do each and every morning. Let's get us a good word. Find out what Brother Ben and the gang have to say today.
When I was a kid, I followed my dad around everywhere. My dad could make things. He was a welder. And his shop was just down from our house, so it was easy for me to follow him around. When he would weld, I had to keep my distance, but I would find something that looked like his welding gun, put on one of his welding helmets, and pretend to do what he was doing. I would eventually learn how to weld myself after high school, but I've not done it in over 35 years, but I learned how to imitate what my dad did. Paul says in 1 Thessalonians 1, 6 through 7, you became imitators of us and of the Lord in spite of severe suffering. You welcomed the message with the joy given by the Holy Spirit, and you became a model to all the believers in Macedonia and Achaia. Two things that stick out to me here. First, these Christians became imitators of other Christians and of the Lord. And second, they became a model to other believers. This is really the essence of being a disciple of Jesus Christ. As we learn to imitate those who are believers and pour into our lives and take on more and more of the image of Christ, we can become a model for others to follow. The idea is that as we model, others will follow, and they will be able to model for someone else. Those people begin to imitate their model, and the multiplication of disciples moves on in spite of adversity and suffering. It's a beautiful picture of how we fulfill the Great Commission and make disciples. May we learn to imitate and influence others to follow the Lord Jesus Christ. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message this morning. Collinsville First Baptist. They'll be open bright and early Sunday morning. You can join them. Matter of fact, there's many churches you could. As we start looking at headlines that are shaping America, have you seen this? The Supreme Court has temporarily blocked an order requiring the Trump administration to release billions to foreign aid. That's been stopped as the cutbacks try to continue. We'll see where that goes also. Now, over the last, 8 years, we've watched things on television, on the news, that we were kind of, if you were like me, going, I'm not sure that that's legal. It just went on anyway. We saw many things happen. As we go back to remember James Comey, do y'all remember that name? It was a pivotal point in the 2016 election when he made the announcement about Hillary. Didn't much go on with that. It wouldn't be long after Trump went into office, and we've almost forgotten this guy. Flynn, do y'all remember him? His life was pretty much ruined. As we start now, we mentioned this yesterday, that an investigation is being launched into James Comey. The FBI director admitted that he did crimes. He bragged about entrapping White House employees by targeting the inexperienced new Trump administration. Flynn is at the top of that. Will something become of it? I don't know. It's been so long. What is the time limit that they can charge someone for doing this? He was the head guy. Flynn was someone who didn't know what he was doing at the time. Said too much. I'm not sure the guy really broke any laws. Y'all be ready today. It should be hitting the internet before long. The logs, the Epstein logs. Who was on the Lolita plane? That's going to be released today. I'm pretty sure we'll see Bill Clinton's name. We've all had that teased to us. But who else is on there? It could be quite shocking. That's going to be released today as Pam Bondi releases that list. be careful what you download. I don't know if everybody remembers this. A while back at Disney, they had a breach. And you know how that happened? A guy downloaded a tool that was going to help him work with AI a little bit better. Before long, they took over his computer and told him everything that he had at home and everybody he owed. And they were able, through that, to access Disney computers. Use caution. We're in an age where not everybody's good people. I mean, how many times have you seen a news story break and then you see that right below it that says, I've got the footage of it? They don't. It's spam. They're trying to get into your computer or your phone. Watch those people that do that. If it doesn't have my name beside it and somebody's claiming it, be careful. Don't touch it. They spend too much time trying to do that. Let's see what else we got this morning. Monica Lewinsky speaking out. I hadn't seen her in years. Have you seen her, Odie? Have you seen her? She really turned out to be a very beautiful woman. I just haven't seen her. She's very attractive, has kept herself well together, and she says Clinton should have resigned. That's her statement after giving an interview this week. She said he did throw me under the bus. She was what? She was a very young girl. And y'all think about that, and in turn, and then the president of the United States, you could be swayed, and she made a mistake. Man alive, and then Hillary come after her, and so many others. This is concerning as we look at headlines across the world. Iran has enough highly enriched uranium now to build 6 nuclear weapons. I don't think we want that. Loose cannons over there, so to speak, there. Let's see what else we've got. Have you seen this with Elon yesterday? I saw 2 comparisons. They showed one of Joe when he opened his cabinet meeting, and then they showed how President Trump opened his. Yesterday, Elon got up to speak. He started out by saying, I get a lot of death threats every day. But here's the interesting part where he got to speaking with all of this. He said, every American needs to hear this. He says, if we do not fix the deficit, America will go bankrupt. It's that simple. And that's what he is tasked at fixing. Now, you can say, oh, the government's got all this money in the world. It's your money. It's what's coming out of your check each week. I don't care who you are watching me right now, whether you vote Republican, Democrat, or if you're an independent. There's taxes taken out of your check, and it's being used for things that sometimes is wasteful. And if we continue that, whether it's you or your grandchildren, we may not have this great country. We are one of the youngest nations in the world. We've got to fix the overspending. Whoever's in charge, every senator, they need to have to answer for these spendings. And I'm truly, I don't know how many people back me on this, that we should have one-line items when anything is passed. It can't be all jumbled into one bill and thrown into where people get all these extras that no one knows about. My 2 cents on that. But we have to balance the budget. You have to do it in your household. The federal government should also do that.
Well, our house is hot for what we got.
Yeah, we are in deep debt, as Odie just said. Police. See, these 3 American women have been found deceased on a vacation. We don't know much more than that. And we'll get into this also on the morning show. Gene Hackman. Oh, one of my favorite stars. He has been an enemy of the state, behind enemy lines. He was in Superman. He was just such a great actor. Him, his wife, and his puppy dog have been found deceased in their home, all 3 dead. Now, they're saying there's no foul play expected. Now, here's what most are speculating at this point, that this could have been carbon monoxide. And then the big question is, was it by accident or was it on purpose? Either way, it's bad. It's horrible. And he was 95, and I think his wife was 67. As we wait to find out more on this, and they're investigating this, we should know before long. And it could have easily been an accident. Let's hope that it was not something else. It's sad news as you're waking up to find that. Vermont, as we've mentioned them once or twice over the last year, you don't hear much out of them in Vermont, but a small plane crash yesterday. Victims survived without serious injuries. 3 people were on board. They're going to make it. That's good news out of Vermont there. Let's see what else we have today. I know there's a lot of, and I too, when you see a pet that you feel that is not being treated correctly, you feel like you should step up and do something. And we have a Michigan veterinarian that sort of done that. She was going down the road. She saw a dog chained. She stopped and took the dog with her, took her back to her vet office, treated it. I think it had a bad tooth and something else, and she treated it back. It was healthy again. Well, here's the problem. It was a homeless guy's dog. And he said, the dog's been with me 16 years. We didn't have much, but that was my buddy. She's taken it. Now, I guess he's going to have a court-appointed person, but he's fighting to get his dog back. Maybe she should have fed the dog, helped it, and given the dog back. But we are compassionate, and I especially get more compassionate the older I get on those who can't help themselves, and that includes pets. And I tell you, it's tough there. Let's see what we've got here. My, oh my, oh my. A guy after, and I'm unsure if it's 3 to 4 days, but you've really made, what's that old saying about a woman scorn? It can be tough. Somehow or another, a guy's ex-girlfriend convinced him to go to the back, and y'all picture this as I'm describing this, a storage shed, to go to the back of it to retrieve something from the back for her. That was about when she slammed the door down and put a lock on it. He was in there 3 to 4 days without food, water, and somehow or another, I don't know whether he had lost his phone in there, couldn't find it. He did finally find it and call 911. He was rescued. She's going to be charged with attempted murder. I mean, she left the old boy. I don't know what he did that was so bad, but that's just downright cruel. As we see there, Wally says should have given the dog back with a paid receipt. I think I agree with that, because it truly was not hers, and that was his lifelong companion that the guy had for 16 years. They made an arrest in Brooklyn yesterday of someone that has been giving money to ISIS. Lots of money. As we see these headlines, we've heard talk about it, but it's happening now. Transgender U.S. service members will be terminated, separated from the military, the Pentagon memo says, as it's sent out. I think there's a lot of people that agree with that at this point. We see that, I've never dealt with this before, but we know that people trying to get across the border is a big thing. I can remember watching TV movies through the years to where the cost was $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, up to $10,000 to pay someone to sneak someone into the United States. As we see the headlines now, y'all take a guess what it's costing to get someone across the border illegally, smuggling. About $18,000 per person. That's what the cartel is charging these. You think about how much money they've made. And these are poor people to begin with that save, that do this, and then they get here and then they can't afford. It's the cartel we need to really, really focus on. I hope they work out a deal to get these people. They're bad folks. Did anybody know that there was a TV show called Real Housewives of the Potomac? It started out with Orange Beach, didn't it?
Something like that.
Maybe. I can't watch it because... Orange County, not Orange Beach. I was close. Beach County. But as I've thumbed across this stuff, mostly it's yelling at one another. And most of it's staged, of some fight, some argument between rich girls that went to go get their hair done. That probably is a good description of most episodes. We have one from the Potomac that has been arrested for DUI. There's a star on there. She will be heading to jail for 1 year. Her name is Karen Hugger. Anybody heard of her? No, I have not. But Pinocchio comes to mind when I see her. And that was ugly, wasn't it, Odie? I shouldn't have said that. That was uncalled for early this morning. Buffy, a girl that played in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm going to try to say her name correctly. Her name was Michelle Trachtenberg. She has been found deceased at the age of 39 Most likely, it's going to be some type of drug or thing. That's not confirmed yet, but that is what everything is leaning to at this point. The fire chief. I don't know if everybody's up this. It was two women that I think were married, and one was a fire chief. And I assume it was the wife and the couple. I get really confused, but she killed the other one in the relationship and has fled the country into Mexico. Have y'all seen this? And the sad part is they've got this whole thing on video from the house, the cameras, where she begged for her life and the woman did not. And she was a woman as she fled, and they finally got video footage of this woman slipping into Mexico a few hours after it happened there. She'll probably be brought back to justice there. That was in California is where that happened. What else have we got this day? We have a college that's getting into trouble this morning. Is Texas, a medical school. They've been using bodies without permission. That's a no-no. How that came about, I'm not sure, but that's a big no-no that we do there. Colorado. You ever seen that person that just wouldn't stop? That's annoying? A Toyota dealership. No, actually, it was a Telsa dealership. Lady kept coming back, vandalizing the place. The fourth time she's finally been arrested and taken away. And apparently she had something in her bag that was a lot worse. FBI involved now. She's been hauled off. But we see this all across America. They won't stop. Now, I'm not sure if it was just because it was electric cars and it had something to do with Elon that the lady was, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. The things that people do. Oh, let's see. We got a few other things that have happened this morning. Taylor Swift's boyfriend. He is going to be returning to the Chiefs next year, Travis. You'll get to watch him another year. So I guess she'll be headed back to some more games there. And you'll be able to watch her. That's a few of the headlines that are shaping America this morning. One last thing. Tennessee apparently has a problem with this, and boy, do I feel for these people. It was a school teacher was one of these that was pulled over by the police. She was given a breathalyzer test, and she didn't register anything, was still given a DUI. Her life's been tough on this, and they're trying to, apparently there's, over the last few years, they had to go back manually and look at this. Over the last 10 years, there's been 609 people that have been charged with a DUI that was not drinking. Something's fishy there, isn't it? I just don't see how that could stick. In the end, most of these cases were thrown out, but at the end of the day, it still remained on the record after it was supposed to be expunged. And most of these people say when people run background checks on them to get their jobs, whatever it is, that's on there, and it's affecting them. I just don't understand how you could write a ticket for something that you didn't do. But Tennessee is where they're having that. Now, whether or not that happens anywhere else in America, I'm unsure. But those are some of the conversation pieces that are happening across America this morning. Boy, Gene Hackman, that still just rattles me. I like him a whole lot. We're going to check that weather forecast next as we get this. And you're right, Robin, it's very fishy. I don't even know what to say about that. All right, we'll get into the weather forecast next in just a moment as we get your day underway. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
A record at highs set on this date as we go back to 1981. It was 84 today. Back in 63, a cool 17 on this date as we go back. As we look across today, we're going to fall somewhere between 70 to 71 in most places across the East Mississippi. As we go northward, cooler in Columbus at 67. We'll go down the Mississippi River and reach 66 in the Natchez area, warming up as we get to Hattiesburg, 72, 73 as you head toward the Gulf Coast. As we go east into Bama, we'll have a few clouds over there, but pretty much the same as Mississippi. 70-degree weather across this, 68 at Birmingham. And as you get near Gadsden, around 67 for that high today. Auburn should be 72. Now to the south of us, as you get near that Jasper County line and you're headed toward Jones, we should see some fog in those areas this morning from there to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We'll look at live radar in just a moment, and that starts and continues through about 10 a.m. today. It should be going out. Thick fog. I mentioned this a moment ago, and this is what we're looking at rolling in on Tuesday. This could be one of those days as we have major tornadic activity move into the area. Now, we're days away from this, and as you'll see here, it shows meridian back west over to Jackson. Again, this will be changing a lot because we're so many days out on this, but it could be another major outbreak on these storms. As a matter of fact, later on, we'll look up and look at some of these statistics of what they're saying today. Dixie Alley, and what I mean by that would be Mississippi, Alabama, is going to show an increased amount of tornadoes this year as this line gets moved over. I'll be ready for all this. This could be serious weather, and we'll watch this and we'll be live with it as this weather happens next week. Again, it's Tuesday, and it will move into Wednesday further east toward Georgia. As we look at our temperatures across the area, a little bit warmer in the Meridian area down toward the coast as we see that, taking in lower Louisiana and portions there of Texas there, warmer weather there. Now, as we look at our 7-day forecast, what we've got 70 today, 20% chance of a sprinkle as we move into Friday to the end of the week, almost ditto. 70 tomorrow with a low of 45 overnight into Saturday. If you've got a big event coming up this weekend, 73. Look at that. Beautiful weather. Down to 39 as you're waking up early Sunday morning for a walk. Not bad, though. 71, 64 on Sunday. A little cooler there. And then we're back into the 70s and nearly 80 by this bad weather rolling in there. 20% chances what they're giving it there, but that will increase as we see bad weather approaching there. But you'll see the difference in the weather there. As we move all the way through March the 13th, 60 around the 6th and 7th there, and then back to the upper 70s there, 76 or so through the 13th as we watch all of this. Not much of a winter there showing so far, but it's not over. As we glance at our fishing forecast, if you're headed out this morning, 11 o'clock till about 1 p.m. is the time to go. 11 to 1 is perfect times. Minor time this afternoon at 5 o'clock. If you'll notice this, we're getting a minute or so each day. Sunrise happened at 6:24 this morning. Sunset rolls in at 5:51. And time change will be March the 9th, where we will spring forward. It's about time, isn't it? I'm ready for all of that also. All right, let's go back and take a look at live radar this morning to show you what we've got with the weather today. And again, we're showing a lot of fog to the south of the areas. We pull up Doc's Toyota radar. As you get in here to Jones County, you'll start seeing this right around Ellisville. Now, it's going to be some light fog all the way through here, but thicker as you move through Purvis all the way down to Lumberton, Mississippi, Poplarville, Wiggins, those areas all the way down to Gulfport. If you're traveling Highway 90, use caution there. 10, any of those areas, it's going to be a lot. Look at this over to our east, southeast from here. Central Nell around Mobile has it. Over to Crestview, we've got a lot of fog in this area around Destin, Panama City, Apalachicola, and Chattahoochee there. Getting some lot of fog there. Even back over to Beaumont in those areas where they're always working on the roads. Be careful in that southern portion of the United States this morning. Bob, what is the deal on this being the last time change? I don't know if it will really happen or not. It's been talked about for years now that they were going to do away with the time change and go to 1. It was actually passed through, I think, the Senate, but it was never put into law. Sure wish it would. I'm tired of this back and forth. Put one time and let's go on. I think most Americans would, if you were to vote on that, would agree. There's some naysayers out there, but for the most part, it just really makes you feel better to have more daylight. It does me. Now, don't get me wrong, wintertime, it's shorter days anyway, but man, I'm ready for some long days. Summertime, be able to do something after work. A little meaning to life, you know what I mean? We're already sitting at 6:55. We'll be back in a couple of minutes live as we're getting ready for the morning show. Can't do it without you. Join us, won't you? It all begins at 7 o'clock this morning. Join us for the Scotty Ray Report with Scotty Ray and Odie.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.